What's up everyone, Kevin Schiller here from Campus Recreation. Welcome back to Technique of the Week. So this time we're going to go over some exercises using a resistance band, and we're going to try to cover pretty much the full body, so the major muscle groups from head to toe. This is something you can do multiple rounds through, cycling from one exercise right to the other, and with each exercise, seeing if you can do anywhere from 15 to 20 repetitions, nice and controlled. The idea of using a resistance band is that you don't have to be around the heavy weight equipment like you see in the gym. This is something you can do at home, in your dorm, in your apartment, outside. And the idea of elastic tension, when you're using weights, that weight is constant. So whether you're using a free weight, like a dumbbell, that's using the weight coming down with the force of gravity, you're using a machine, pulley system, anything like that, that weight is constant as you're controlling it, whether you're pushing, pulling, curling, pressing. With the band, you have increased tension, so the farther you're pulling it, the more resistance there is. And then there's that give back. So the idea of using a resistance band is that the thicker the band, or the farther away from the anchor point that you get, the more tension there's going to be. So you end up stretching a lot further, it's going to get a lot tighter tension, but then the muscle conditioning comes in the fact that you don't want to ever let it just retract like this. So you pull, and then you're going to control it back. Everything we do has a tension element and then control. So you still want to be moving each exercise in the same smooth pattern for the concentric, which is the actual muscle engaging movement. Then the eccentric is when you return to the starting position. So both of those have to be a smooth and controlled motion. Don't ever have that feeling like you're just letting it release. So you're missing out then the point of the muscle control with the band. So for this, I happen to have a band that doesn't have any handles on it. This is just a smooth strip that you might have. And we can use this in terms of gripping, wrapping around our hands. If you're going to be fixing this to an anchor point, like a door handle, a beam of sorts, whatever, it could be an anchor, so you can have something fixed as you're pulling the other end. If you're going to tie this in a knot, just make sure that it's a good solid double knot, nice and tight. Otherwise, some of you may have access to resistance bands with a handle that you can use to string through to create single tension. I'll be showing that as well. Let's check out the workout. Okay, so starting with our shoulders, the deltoids, and mainly the rotator cuff muscles, the muscles that keep the shoulders back and into the shoulder joint for good posture. We're going to be doing a band pull. So for this, with your band, you're going to want to start gripping with your palms facing up here. Some of you want to choke up to get a little more tension, or if you don't like this end flying around, you can give it a little wrap. But as you're gripping your band, palms are facing up. You're going to have your elbows locked straight, and each time if you're looking in the mirror, you want your shoulders not to be up, but down, and you also don't want them forward and loose, you want them back. So think back and down, elbows straight, and we're going to separate all the way, and then return. So the palms stay up the whole time, my elbows aren't bending, so I'm only moving at my shoulder joint, and I'm trying to come a little bit past the 180 line. So if this is 180, I'm trying to stretch that band and come a little bit behind and control. Shoulders are staying level, pinch it, control it back, don't let it snap. Back and squeeze the shoulders and in. You want to feel that shoulder blades are squeezing, pinching in to your rear. So looking at the back, shoulders down, back and squeeze, control. Back and squeeze, control. So this is good to do. Same thing, high repetitions, nice and controlled movement, teaching the shoulder blades how to come back and down. Good for your posture and good to keep those shoulders back in the socket. You can do this mid-level, which we just did, from chest height, open and back, or we can come from above the head, still coming down to the chest. So high angle above the head, squeeze it, control. Squeeze, control, or mid-level. Squeeze, control it back, squeeze, control it back. When you return back, you're keeping just a little bit of tension. Don't completely let it slack. Those are your band pulls. Okay, for our shoulder press, I happen to be sitting on a bench that has the ability to reach underneath it. I'm going to pass this band underneath, so just right underneath my hips. Sometimes people like to put the band under their feet. Every time you do that, just make sure it's strong under your feet. You don't want the band slipping, snapping up towards your face. So for this, I pass it underneath the bench, nice strong grip, and I'm prepping this so that the band is behind my shoulder blades, behind my upper arm, and I got a nice strong grip. So keeping my good posture, shoulders back and down, stomach tucked in. I'm gonna press up and then control. Up and then control. So if you have the band in front here, it's a little bit too much inward pressure. You want to make sure you have that elbows in front of you. Here, you can press up big and control. Big time, controlling that on the way down. Shoulder press working the deltoids and the triceps. Okay, next up to work the trapezius muscles, up towards the neck, behind the shoulder blade. These are the muscles that get a little tense sometimes when we're stressed or sitting for long periods. So we're gonna do shrugs. So for this, you can stand with one or both feet on your band to create that tension pulling down. Nice strong grip, standing up tall, shoulder blades back and down, just like we did in the band pulls. Now you're gonna bring those shoulders up as high as you can to your ears, down all the way controlled. Up to the ears, pinch, and down. As high as you can, squeezing it, control it all the way down. Big range of motion is key here. So even from the side, I'm trying to get that band to really pull tight, to pull my shoulders up and control. Up full and down. Just like you would do if you had your pair of dumbbells and working those shoulders up and down for the shrugs to work the traps. Okay, so this next exercise is going to be the lateral raise for the deltoid. So for this, you're either fixing one end of this to an object, or if you have the band with a handle, I can just string it through and I still have that same resistance, that elastic tension, now with the grip. So for this, I want the band to be in the direction of my palm. That way, as I swing up, this deltoid is what's creating the movement as I lift. So I'm going just past the midline and I'm going towards shoulder height and back. Shoulder height, control. So I'm not going as high as I want to shrug my shoulder, keeping that shoulder down and back. Elbow stays slightly bent. I'm pulling up and out, control it back. Up and out, control it back. Making sure to work both sides. And from the side perspective, I'm not perfectly straight coming out. I'm just the slightest bit lean. So I can pass my midline. And when I come up to the side, I'm focusing all on that middle shoulder. That middle deltoid for that lateral raise. Okay, working our way down, we're gonna do the tricep extension, 3 heads of the tricep, and then we're gonna do some bicep curls for the front. So for this, you're gonna string that band through just the same. Now, for the tricep extension, I want to try to do something similar to the shoulder press, only my angle is going to be slightly different. So for the press, I was here, coming straight up and down, actually moving my elbows. For the tricep extension, I want to think bringing my elbows in and up. So now I have a good stretch, and I'm going to press straight up and down. So notice now my elbows are not moving. For the shoulder press, the elbows travel. All right, elbows flared out to the side. This, I'm bringing my elbows in, pushing straight up. The only thing moving is my forearms, my lower arms. My elbows are not moving, the upper arm is not moving. Just the hinge in the elbow, getting the good stretch in the tricep on the way down, and then contract the muscle on the way up. Nice and smooth working those triceps. When you're done with this, it could be a good superset. You keep the band tension, but now your palms are facing up. So as you curl and release, curl and release, keeping the palms facing up and work the bicep. This can also be done standing on the band, curling straight up, all just seeing how that tension feels. Otherwise, if it's too hard, go ahead and take it seated so that band is not stretched as much. You can get a little more range of motion here. So that's superset, working the backs of the arms, stretching for your triceps, and then coming right in the front to curl it up to get the biceps in front. Okay, for the chest, what I'm gonna do is get this band behind our backs here, and this time you want to have the band underneath, so it's like you're pinching it here. If it comes around the arm, it might be a little rough on your skin. So we have it underneath our shoulders, underneath our arms. Thumbs are facing up. So for this, shoulders back and down, hands level with the mid chest, and I'm just going to push straight out and return. This is like the bench press. So with a bench press, if you're holding the bar, your arms are flared out like this, pushing straight and return, keeping my shoulders down. Sometimes this, being with a band, is a little bit shaky on the shoulder, so you can bring your elbows down and still press all the same. It's a little more tricep focused, but you're still squeezing with the chest as you press out full and return, full and return, just like you're doing a bench press or a push-up. Work more of the chest. So we've done the tricep into the bicep as opposition, like a superset. We work the back of the arm and then the front. Same principle here. We work the front chest with our bench press, a push. Now we want to do a pull, something to work the back, like a row. So for this, if you have something where you want to fix and wrap the band around in the front, you could be pulling that band this way, right? So I'm stretching and pinching it back, hitting those elbows to squeeze the shoulder blades if this were looped around an object in front. If you don't have something to wrap this band around, you can still use your same body weight, just standing on the band to get that lower angle. So for this, to reach that angle, I'm going to have one foot on the band, and I'm in almost a forward lunge. Got my tight grip, chest tall. I'm going to pull up and squeeze and return. Elbows pinch back and down. Get my shoulder blades to squeeze in the rear, extend with control, pinch and out. Squeeze and down. Creating that lean, I want to be pulling up here. This is like my shrug. So I have to create this angle, pinch and down, pinch and down. For that bent over. Okay, finally we move down to the lower body. So for a squat, we're going to add a step out. So for this, go ahead and stand on your band, and you want your feet very close, almost touching. So the feet are almost touching together, and I'm standing up tall with my band. I'm going to step my foot out, so I have to stretch the band in order to do this. So by stretching that foot out, you're putting tension on the outer hip. So feet are together, holding the band nice and tight, good posture. I forcefully take one foot, flexing the hip, out here, deep squat, and up, and return with control. Big step out, deep squat, don't let it snap back, control it back. However many you do to the one side, make sure you hit the other. Big step out, nice deep squat, control that return. Step out again, big tension, keep the knees over the toes, and back. So you're getting that traditional squat, but we're adding that outward movement to keep the tension on the outer thigh. Last one we have is a good burnout for the deep six muscles that keep your upper thigh, your femur, externally rotated, your hip nice and locked in. We're going to do a zombie walk. So for this, you're going to go ahead and step on your band. Same principle, feet almost touching. Coming up nice and tall. Separate those feet. So I'm trying to keep my feet shoulder width, but I'm stretching the band to get there so there's tension. Now as I walk forward, what I don't want to do is do a traditional walk where my feet are almost on a center line. I want to try to keep my feet shoulder width apart, and I'm walking, staying on that fixed track. My feet never leave that shoulder width pattern. So the tension comes in that you're walking, trying to keep your feet out. So feet almost touching, good posture. Feet shoulder width, pulling that band. Now I don't let them come in. I start inching, nice and smooth, kind of trying to keep my good posture. And as I'm walking, I'm moving those feet on the line. Once you reach the end of your space, you can slowly return and bring it back. You get a burn in your calves, you get a burn in your hamstrings, and a pretty good burn in the outer hip and your glute. All by walking in inches, trying to keep your feet apart. Don't let them come in. All right, so there you have it. Those are our top 10 exercises to work the body head to toe using your resistance band. Be creative, whether you're holding it yourself to create tension, fixing it to an anchor point, whether it's a high, middle, or low anchor point, or using your own feet standing on it to create that tension. Everything's about control, pulling that back, but not letting it snap. Keep it under tension, keep the movements controlled, control your breathing, get a nice burn. Fun way to add some resistance into your traditional routine, where you also have your cardiovascular work, still trying to get outside and enjoy while that weather's nice. Okay, thanks for joining. Good luck, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.